And just like that, the defending champions are out, and the Los Angeles Lakers are through to play the Denver Nuggets for a spot in the NBA Finals.
A dominant victory here in Game 6. The 7th seed is going to the Western Conference Finals. The Lakers' hopes of banner number 18 still alive.
The Los Angeles Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors 122-101 to win the Western Conference semifinals, and they now move on to play the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. But before we jump into my reaction and my thoughts on the game, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. It really helps me out. Drop a like on the video. Comment, let me know who you think is going to win that series and who is going to move on to the NBA Finals. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dial it back and let's talk about what happened in this game. Look, this was Steve Kerr's first time losing to a Western Conference opponent in the playoffs. Now, he lost a couple of play-in games and he's lost in the NBA Finals, but he's never actually lost a series in the Western Conference playoffs, which is a remarkable feat in and of itself. And this isn't criticizing him in any way. You can't ask for much better from a head coach, but it's the LeBron James effect. He shows up in the Western Conference, wins a title a couple of years ago, the defending champions, the best dynasty of the modern era, maybe the best dynasty ever, certainly up there. He takes them out, and he does it with his best game of the playoffs. 30 points on 10 of 14 shooting, extremely efficient, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. And guys, this is very scary. This is scary for the Nuggets, and if they win that series, it's scary for whoever they face from the East. He is making 38% of his threes over his last 5 games. I know, guys, he shot 19% from 3 in the first round. It's over. That streak is behind him. He has found his shot, and he's found his free throw. He is making a ton of free throws. That's one thing that people aren't really talking about with what he's doing in the playoffs and what he's doing in this series. But it wasn't just LeBron who got it done tonight. No, he was helped out by one very, very special person, and that person's name was Klay Thompson. He had 8 points. 8 points. Game 6 Klay. The legend of Game 6 Klay is deader than a doorknob. 3 of 19 from the field, 2 of 12 from 3, 8 points, a game worst minus 33. One of the most awful performances from a superstar that we have seen in NBA playoff history. And take into account, again, Game 6 Klay, just like playoff P. Paul George gave himself the nickname, Game 6 Klay gave himself that nickname because of what he did in the past. In that game, you'll remember that game against the Thunder where Steph didn't play. And was it Game 6 against the Rockets where he made 8 threes? This is Game 6 Klay. Doesn't make 8 threes. He scores 8 points. Great job, Klay. For spending a lot of time blowing smoke about how you waited your entire professional career. You waited 12 years to play the Lakers, where your dad played and won championships and was a former #1 overall pick. You really showed up in this game, this elimination game. Great job. Steph Curry, can't say anything bad about him. Look, he wasn't efficient. He scored 32 points, but it took him 28 shots to get there. He was only 11 of 28 on his field goal attempts. He didn't shoot the ball well from 3 either. He actually struggled the last couple of games. But he only had one other teammate that scored in double digits, and that was Dante DiVincenzo, who actually looked like he was going to be the reason that the Warriors were going to win this game if that's what was going to happen. He was huge for them in the first quarter. I believe he cracked 10 points in the first quarter, and when everybody else was misfiring, he was really consistent, and then he helped power the Warriors back because the Lakers went up huge early. They were up 27-10, and at the end of the first quarter, it was 31-26. A lot of that was because of DiVincenzo. Jordan Poole, a total no-show, absolutely again. They have a guy on a $130 million contract playing garbage time with the reserves at the end of the game when the season is over, the series is over, the game's over, all of the above. What has happened to Jordan Poole? He didn't score in the first half. He had 4 fouls in 12 minutes. He's a turnover machine waiting to happen. He was getting abused on defense. The Lakers' game plan, look, it wasn't solely reliant upon this, but they certainly took advantage of getting Curry and Poole in the pick and roll, and they were just hunting them. I said last game, or 2 games ago rather, that LeBron in the fourth quarter looked like LeBron in the 2016 NBA Finals. Where's Curry? Get him on the pick and roll, switch him on me. We're going to figure it out. That's what he was doing a lot of the times when he had the ball in his hand. Now, he wasn't completely at the joystick like he was for most of Game 4, But guys, again, it's time to start worrying about LeBron. We thought that he was fading away. We thought Anthony Davis was the best player on this team. We were saying LeBron's injured, and I think he is. I think he really should be out recovering from foot surgery, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets the surgery done in the offseason. But we thought he was old. We thought he was brittle. We thought he was inefficient because he couldn't make his shots. Look at what happened in Game 4, and look at what happened in Game 6. LeBron is increasingly starting to dominate these games. And I think what we saw tonight was he turned it up a couple of levels. He absolutely did. There was more energy, there was more effort, there's more power, there's more explosion, and again, more efficiency. 2 of 3 threes, 10 of 14 on field goals, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, but he still wasn't even close to top gear. I think he is trying his absolute best not to dig into that pool because I think he knows he's 38 years old. He's in year 20. He's got more miles on his body than pretty much anyone in the history of the game. He doesn't want to tap into that reserve too early. Now, he did play 43 minutes, which was a season high for games in regulation. But still, first of all, this was an important game. Now they've got 3 days of rest. But again, he wasn't close to his maximum. He didn't look exhausted. He's actually looked tired, more tired in games where the Lakers were winning easily as well. And he played far fewer minutes and was less involved in the offense. So I think that Denver, they've really got to consider that it isn't just Anthony Davis's team. It is still LeBron James's team. It is still the king. Who else do we got to talk about here? Let's just talk about a couple of trends from this game overall. The Lakers shot 50% from 3. They made 13 of them. Austin Reeves, round of applause, hats off. Austin Reeves stepped up. He was the second leading scorer for the Lakers in this game. He had 23 points. Anthony Davis, look, he only scored 17 points in an elimination game. Maybe you're thinking you might want more from him, or in a closeout game, I should say. But he had 20 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals. He was shutting down everything on the interior. Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they were terrified whenever they got into the restricted area. Curry was okay at the start of the game, but by the third quarter and especially the fourth quarter, there were times where all of them had open shots and they were turning them down because they were worried that Davis was closing out. They were worried that he was coming for a block from behind. And even if he wasn't closing in on them, they were just used to that being his territory, so they were passing out of wide open looks. The Warriors only shot 27% from 3. Now, part of that was them missing good shots because they had open looks in the first quarter and they just couldn't hit them. But the Lakers' defense was just tremendous throughout the game. Their half-court defense especially, and they didn't allow the Warriors to get out in transition, which is where they had found great success in the games they won in this series. Now, they were doing that by getting to the free throw line. The Lakers in this game shot 42 free throws to the Warriors' 14. A lot of those were in the fourth quarter when the Warriors had given up, but even still, entering the fourth quarter, they had attempted more than double the Warriors had, and that was by design. First of all, the Lakers shot more free throws than any team in the league, and they gave up the fewest free throws per game, fewest free throws per game of any team in the league. But they put an extra emphasis on it, not just for the offensive purposes, but to get the Warriors out of their rhythm, stop them from running downhill, and it paid dividends. Draymond Green left this game in the fourth quarter with calf tightness. He didn't come back into the game. I think that he was trying to save face. He had a weird run-in with Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder got a tech early in the game, and then in the third quarter, when the game is still there to be won, the Lakers went into halftime up 10 points. So game's still kind of hanging in the balance. There's a dead ball. Draymond gets the rebound, or not the rebound, but the ball finds its way to him. He and Schroeder are jawing at each other, and Draymond just holds the ball in his face, right up, pressed up against his nose. And Schroeder's standing there, with his little robot posture, and he's talking, but he's not moving on Draymond. He's not acting. And the refs tossed Schroeder out of the game, which completely blew my mind. And I was thinking this could be devastating for the Warriors because they just lost their best perimeter defender. That was getting minutes. Jared Vanderbilt had been their best perimeter defender throughout the playoffs, but he was so ineffective on offense that they had to take him out of the starting lineup, which is something that I predicted they were going to do. Go back and check the tape on the last episode. I'm 3 for 3 on lineup adjustments, by the way. I said the Warriors were going to start JaMychal Green. I then said they were going to start Gary Payton. And I said the Lakers were going to start Dennis Schroeder for Vanderbilt in this game. So 3-3 in this series. Pretty proud of that. Look, very impressive win from the Lakers. Very unimpressive loss from the Warriors. I'm not going to blame too much on Steph. The Warriors were not a good team. But what a disappointing game from Klay. Draymond, I'm going to guess that he's not going to be back in the Bay Area. Jordan Poole, I think the Warriors have to look heavily into trading him this offseason. I heard Nick Wright just floated off the top of his head, a DeAndre Ayton for Jordan Poole trade, my problem for your problem. I don't think that's a bad trade for either team. I really don't, because first of all, you got to get the salaries to line up, and it's not quite the Ben Simmons level, but it's the situation of we have a very expensive problem and we need to swap him out. The Warriors would get a big man who doesn't necessarily dominate the inside. He's mobile. He can run the pick and roll, hit the floaters and the mid-range shots of the short roll. That would fit well, especially in life without Draymond. And then Jordan Poole goes to the Suns. They get younger at the guard position. That's something they really want to look into. Matt Ishbia tweeted that there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the Suns. He already fired a couple people from the front office. So that would be something really cool if it does happen. Really interesting, to say the least, because we don't really see a bunch of huge trades. We see player movement and free agency, but we don't see huge trades. So that'll be definitely interesting to see. Let's go ahead and look ahead to the Lakers versus the Nuggets in the conference finals. Look, the Nuggets were the better team than Lakers throughout the regular season. They were the number 1 seed in the West for a majority of the season. A lot of people thought they were going to lose to the Suns heading into the series. I think it became pretty evident as soon as we were 3/4 into that series that the Nuggets were the far superior team, and they closed the Suns out in dominant fashion, even more dominating than what the Lakers did to the Warriors. And of course, the Lakers are going on the road to Mile High. The Lakers won their first 2 games. They won them both in 6, and they won game 1 in both of those series. They also had the rest advantage in both of those series. Now, they are getting 3 days off, but the Nuggets, they got 4 days off because they closed up shop in Phoenix a day earlier. And again, it's Mile High. It's where it's high altitude. It's harder to get your oxygen levels, which depletes your energy. For an older team with an older star like LeBron, that's going to be tough. I'm very curious to see if LeBron is going to come out and treat game 1 like a game 7, and the rest of the Warriors, or the rest of the Lakers for that matter, Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, all those guys. They need to come out and be at their best in game 1. And they need to, even if they lose, they need to show the Nuggets that they're not going to be pushovers in this series. And I really do think the Lakers need to get a split in Denver. I think if they go down 0-2, granted, they are undefeated at home in these playoffs, but I think it would put them in a really bad spot, having to win 4 out of the next 5 games. That's going to be tough for an older team like that, and one that is riding really high on momentum. You don't want to get that taken out of you. One player that is going to be key to watch in this series, and it shouldn't be any surprise, Anthony Davis. Look, Nikola Jokic is sensational, and he has been otherworldly in these playoffs. He just averaged a 30-point triple-double in the last series. He's extremely efficient. He's shooting close to 50% from 3. But one player that has given him more trouble than anybody else in the NBA, Anthony Davis. Now, Jokic was really good in their 3 regular season matchups this season, but Anthony Davis did not play in all of those, and the Lakers had not rebuilt their roster in all of those meetings. Of course, that is very important to remember. Ever since they made those moves, they have the best record in the NBA. The Nuggets aren't far behind. The Lakers do have the best. And real quick, while we have the time right here, I'm going to go and look up what their ratings are for the playoffs. And my apologies for not having this ready beforehand. Go over to NBA.com and let's pull up the advanced metrics here. Okay, so the number 1 team in the playoffs in terms of net rating is the Denver Nuggets. That's what I thought. I knew they were that a couple of days ago, but I hadn't updated it. The Lakers are 3rd. That is not updated for the Warriors game. I would imagine they're going to take off. They might usurp the Boston Celtics, who are 2nd right now. The Lakers have the best defensive rating in the playoffs. The Nuggets are 5th in terms of defensive rating. The Nuggets have the best offensive rating. The Lakers are down at 9th. Again, based on tonight's performance, they're probably going to move past the 76ers into 8th. So the advanced metrics like the Nuggets in this matchup, although I would say that the Lakers, again, I think they know, and specifically LeBron, I think they know they have a certain starting point with their energy levels, and they don't want to dig into them too early. And their experience is going to be crucial here. Now, this is the best Denver Nuggets team that they will have seen. They beat them in 5 games, in the bubble in the Western Conference Finals in 2020, but this is a different Nuggets team. It's more mature, it's more experienced, it's better, it's deeper. Mike Malone has also gotten better as a coach, and they have home court advantage. It's not the bubble where every game is a neutral site. I am very excited to see this series, really interested to see how the Lakers are going to handle the Jokic-Murray pick and roll, and also going to find out if we are going to see more LeBron, Anthony Davis pick and roll with the shooters sitting in the weak side. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. Make sure that you do drop a like and or subscribe to the channel. I've got reactions, analysis, betting picks, all of the above coming out throughout the rest of these playoffs and in all of the other sports once we get to them. See you all soon, and thank you for tuning in. Until next time, have a great day.